Hi, thank you for stopping by to watch this video. I'm Andrew Carnegie. I'm a poet, also a Christian poet, and the story behind these poems that you're about to hear relate to a college course at Trinity College in Bristol, England. I attended a series on Christian apologetics, and these three poems were written for that course. Apologetics means defence, and so it's quite possible the first poem may have you scratch your head saying, "You've lost the plot, Andrew." All I ask is that you listen to the poem to the end and then wait to hear the explanation. Hope you'll understand and see why I wrote it. If you do get a sudden urge to clap or cheer at home, please go ahead. I'm sure I will feel the love. So here's my first poem. The first poem is called Atheism. There is no possibility of God. You would have to be extremely foolish to believe God is behind universal creation. God is omnipotent. How could we not see? Science tries to provide a definitive answer. There is obvious confusion. We have the high pope of the God delusion. We can measure back to when time began. Our universe started in one big bang. For we can clearly see Christianity states everything just came to be. These religions just create divisions. It's foolish to think things such as Christ was the divine Son of God. Christ died to offer us all hope. Can you even begin to imagine? There is nothing more than our here and now. Atheism offers this simple solution, that we're just born to live then die. There's no need to ponder our why. There's no need for religion or spirituality. You'd have to be extremely foolish to believe. Now, as I said at the beginning, the poem does not appear to have much good to say about Christianity. Some defence, right? I'm now going to read each line in the reverse order, so the poem is being read backwards. You'd have to be extremely foolish to believe. There is no need for religion or spirituality. There's no need to ponder our why. We're just born to live then die. Atheism offers this simple solution, that there is nothing more than our here and now. Can you even begin to imagine? Christ died to offer us all hope. Christ was the divine Son of God. It's foolish to think things such as these religions just create divisions. Christianity states everything just came to be. For we can clearly see our universe started in one big bang. We can measure back to when time began. Yeah, we have the high pope of the God delusion. There is obvious confusion. Science tries to provide a definitive answer. How could we not see? God is omnipotent. God is behind universal creation. You'd have to be extremely foolish to believe there is no possibility of God. Now that's the same poem, the exact same words. All that's changed was the order that they were read in. All I ask as you listen to the next two poems is that you accept we may all have different perceptions or a starting point, and that it reflects well if we're able to open our minds and listen before we make decisions. The second poem is called The Bible. It's a really great title if you're somebody who's not particularly religiously orientated, but let's have some fun with it. I came here tonight to entertain. Stood up here. If you're bored, then I'm the one to blame. I can see you sat here, eating your chocolate, sipping your wine, thinking your thoughts whilst the backdrop's divine, and none of you, not one, consider past tonight. Your thoughts are having fun. Me neither. However, I believe I can raise some thoughts, because I saw you yawn when I mentioned the Bible. Man, the poet's a preacher, and not that reliable. Well, how many of you knew that there were 66 books in the Bible, or whilst you're sat there picking your nose, that one contains a story about a man named Job? You see, Job, if you let me explain, was a success story, much more than a name. He got to where you all aspire, with wealth and a family. He couldn't go much higher. Well, than king, because being queen wasn't really an option back then, but we could always pretend. But despite being a champion God-botherer, Job was put through some real crap. If what happened was being blessed, I'm not sure that I would pass that test. Job lost every bit of his wealth. If that wasn't enough, then he lost his health. His kids died. Man, I would have cried. But through all of this, Job never denied his belief in God. Sure, he thought God was odd, a real mean son of a bitch. But God always surely exists. And it's the devil that's to blame for what occurs in God's name. But of course those smug self-righteous friends come round to pretend they know better. Even his wife is there, knife in the back. I bet some of us have had some of that. But Job never loses faith. And at the end, sensing God's face, he shakes his fist at what he knows surely exists. And in doing that, oh, praise the Lord. Job is restored, back on his pins, once again rich, and in charge of all things. And so if you're like me, Job is a book really worth a read. My next poem is called Christian Britain. I bet some of you laughed when you heard about Christian Britain, when you never go to church and your neighbour's a Muslim. But you see, this thing called poetry came to prominence, to the awareness of you and me, due to books like Job in the Bible. And did you know that even the use of books came about due to Christians smuggling the Gospels? It isn't all about fluffy nativity and plays called Godspell. Most of our education came about due to a belief in heaven. And of course our laws and our morality of people like Nye Bevan, who raged against the aristocracy and whose lasting bequest is of course the NHS. Whilst our companies of mercers used biblical fair weights and measures, it was that decision that caused Britain's real treasures. As our trading bloomed and we started to grow due to people trusting us, what a way to go. And that significant volume of trade created embassies in every land. If you step back, you could almost think that was planned. Of course, there was also Wilberforce, whose Christian belief caused a desire for relief from slavery, which he tackled head-on ever so bravely. Whilst in the 1950s the CIA got to play when a professor rebadged the book of Ecclesiastes and got caught up in McCarthyism. Questioning the sedition of his class's decision, you see, the Bible is seditious. If you're seeking to rage against the machine, finding words for tackling injustice, why life is so mean, then the Bible is really quite delicious. But there's more to it, so much more. You see, we all sit here in our actuality, feeling fed up, seeking spirituality, when God has reached out into our realities. And now some of you will just say, that's bollocks. After all, science has shown us how things grew. There was a bang and everything flew. But what science cannot parade is how that hydrogen cascade came into being when there was no rule on the shelf. If there's no God, then hydrogen invented itself. And I don't know about you, but if I'm having a jar at the local bar, I've never had a great conversation with hydrogen, but even if it sounds odd, I have with God. So if you feel intrigued about God's dangerous book, come, give me a shout, let's have a beer, let's talk, let's take a look. And if you're not certain about the final curtain, then likewise have a chat, because I can prove I'm certain. But if you still think God can be denied, let's not bother arguing. Let's fight. I'll see you outside. Obviously that's a little bit of humour. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I'd be really grateful if you chose to listen to some more, possibly subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button. Thank you so much.